Brian Flores and his class action lawsuit that he has against the NFL. Also, we have Hugh Jackson adding some fuel to that fire since that news dropped. We'll check in on the coaching carousel and how this might have an effect on that. Brian Flores, that whole situation, obviously many people will know by now, filed a class action lawsuit against the NFL, against the Giants, against the Dolphins, and against the Broncos. And I had a chance to actually read through a good portion of the 56 or 58 page lawsuit and some of the things that are being alleged. Mm-hmm. And this is a big problem for the NFL. This is a huge problem. This is a huge problem, maybe for a reason that you might not expect. But, my first reaction to this news breaking was that, this is kind of, as a player, spending time in the locker room, speaking with coaches who go from being players to being in the coaching room to being part of player development and all these different departments you have in your football facility. This was not an unknown. This was not something that we didn't already know that was going on. And it wasn't like a secret. It was just like we kind of tired of it, but it just happens. It's how it is. It's how it was kind of accepted, because as a player, you're a few degrees away from that, and that you're getting paid more than the coaches are getting paid. You know what I mean? And your experience is different because you are like the entertainment. So you're like not necessarily, right. You can't really care so much about, exactly. Right. You're the talent. So I can't care so much about, the situation as it pertains to coaches, because I'm going to have to buy into whoever it is anyway. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. So I'm not really looking at, the numbers or even the experiences and whether there's really a genuine look at a coach who's a minority. But when you hear that it's not, and I've heard that it's not from many different players when I was in the league, it's like, yeah, we kind of figured it wasn't. Look, everybody who's our boss is a white person. And it's always been like that. So it doesn't alarm me. I won't say it won't alarm me, but it doesn't surprise me that they prefer to kind of keep it that way. You see it. The numbers don't lie. We talked about this on the dumpster fire yesterday. The NFL is 70% black as far as the entertainment goes. And then from the decision-making level upward, very, very small percentage. Now, as far as head coaches go, there was only one black head coach in the NFL. And he's had to be a Hall of Fame level performer to keep his job.
Yeah. Well, also the Steelers don't fire coaches.
Yeah, about to say.
And the Steelers aren't known for big. Yeah, you got job security in Pittsburgh, but come on.
He's earned it though. He's earned it every year.
He has probably earned his job more than any other coach in the NFL has earned their job. And I will put his resume against any coach minus one coach. And you know who that is. I will put his resume up against any of them. And he wins.
Dog shit roster.
Any coach who's been hired in the last 15 years, there's only one who has done a better job than him. Yeah, but they both got rings.
Yep.
Bill Belichick. So, I'm going to open it up to you guys and and we'll just discuss this and just kind of give our thoughts. I'm not trying to make this into some kind of, self-righteous this or that, but as a player, there's a little bit, I feel like, and I know Justin knows this as well. There's a little bit that we see this happen, and it's like every 5 or 6 years we hear about this, because the numbers never really change. They just kind of stay the same. You never get above 5 coaches who are black, 5 head coaches who are black in the NFL. Just don't really happen.
I think they were right at 5 or 6, maybe last year, the year before.
Yeah, when Anthony Lynn, Todd Bowles, when all those guys were
coaches. Yeah, 17 days.
Yeah.
Around there.
Who else was
well, I think it was I remember there was an uproar about multiple black coaches being fired. I think it was Todd Bowles, Marvin Lewis, Steve Wilkes, and I think there was another one, Vance Joseph.
think
Well, that
he is
kind of
taking over
ties
now.
into that kind of ties into those tanking allegations. It's like, all right, well, if we're gonna lose for the next 3 years, like, and I'm not saying that this is intentional or what, but they're like, hey, let's just tick that
I'm not
box
gonna
off.
say it's not.
Yeah, let's
I
tick
mean,
that box off, right? We
yeah.
don't have a black head coach. Let's just pin it all on him. Like,
Yeah.
we'll make it. It'll be historic, and then we'll fire him after 2 years. But at the same time, like, it's not like it ruins that coach. He gets whoever it is. Like, fuck, I'll be the first Asian head coach if you're gonna after 1 year and fire my ass. I'm owed $20
Dust me
million.
up.
Like, I'm
Mhm.
set.
I mean, I think David Culley's the dream story. If
Yeah.
there's-
He worked his way up. He was a former player, and he got fired after 1 year being the coach. I think any coach given a talented roster would be hard to fuck up. It's like when you play in Madden and you ready up with the all Madden team. Like, it's really hard. It doesn't matter what play you call when there's fucking holes wide open and shit for your running back
Yeah.
to run through. It don't fucking matter, dude. Like, but it just seems like they never say the quiet part out loud, but it's like, we're gonna suck for the next couple years. Let's hire a black coach, and it just if you look at it objectively, that's how it's played out. That's how it's like. All right, we're gonna bring in Anthony Lynn for 2 years. We're gonna blame him for all these close losses, which I think was kind of his fault.
It was justified.
Yeah, he was fucking up. There's
He was fucking up, but
he never
doubt
evolved.
on
He
that.
didn't evolve as a coach.
We've got our young white guy
But-
in there that takes risks and analyzes things.
And
You wouldn't
he
see a
fucks up
black
the
coach do
same
that.
way, and they're
Uh-huh.
not gonna. He's not going anywhere.
He
Right.
He
fucked
did have
up
a
their
really
whole
good.
season.
He did have a really good year as a defensive coordinator with the Rams. So.
He did, but
Oh,
I'm just,
yeah.
it just smells that way. I'm not saying it is that way. I'm just saying
I mean, there's always outliers.
things always
Yeah.
smell when you look at things just from this point of view. Like, you're just like, that's kind of shady.
Yeah, I
Feel
mean,
like-
when you look at it, I mean, it's not even. I don't think that it's necessarily every move that's done, that has a negative result for a black coach is because of racism. I don't think that's the case.
Sure,
That's
some
really
guys just weren't
at-
good.
Yeah, some guys just didn't get it done. But I think that the problem, where I see the problem when it comes to the race side of it, is that one, the Rooney Rule is now shown that it's ineffective. It's not useful, and it should be abolished. Get rid of it. But secondly, like when Brian Flores talks about he goes into Denver, they're an hour late, and they smell like booze and look like they're hungover. You don't even respect the man, is what you're telling me.
The thing is,
And that is racist.
That sounds-
And because
that
they
sounds like-
wouldn't
well,
treat.
here's the thing. Brandon Perna tweeted this. He's like, that is so on brand for John Elway, though.
Same here.
If you're around John Elway and you know how hard that motherfucker hits the bottle, like, people say that that's pretty much on brand for John Elway. Like, it could have been the guy that he was going to hire. He was going to show up late smelling like cigars and alcohol anyway. There's been rumors
But
like,
okay, be that as it may, even if that's the case, Brian Flores don't know him like that.
that's true. But I think.
So what am I supposed to think
Yeah,
when I
that's
walk
the only
in
way I can
there
take it.
and the thing that you tell, the thing that has been hounded into my head from the moment I walked in the door as a rookie in the league, be on time, be 5 minutes early.
5 minutes
fucking
early, you're on
Be
time.
ready to go to work.
You're on
Yeah,
time. You're
And
late.
you know what I mean? All the principles of football that are supposed to lay the groundwork to building a successful culture, you don't even believe in them. So because the guy you're going to hire to put in that position to lead men, you can't even give him the respect to show your ass up on time, and you're supposed to be a decision maker.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? What am I supposed to think?
It's low class for sure, but
It's
Yeah.
And that kind of shit tends to trickle down.
Yes.
That's how bad cultures stay
When
bad.
things get rough, your head coach that you showed up an hour late for, smelling like booze with all your boys looking like y'all are hungover. Hey, when shit get rough, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna
That's
come in
why
that motherfucker
Washington
smelling like
Urban
weed.
Meyer.
Yep.
yeah, Urban Meyer lost that locker room in week 4. When
Oh,
Yeah.
he
he was
lost it long
partying,
before that.
yeah, Everybody must have been like, shit, we can stay out late too. Fuck it. We don't need to fly back.
You know what I
with the
mean?
team. Fuck
The
it.
moment he didn't fly back from the team, everybody on that team was like, if these motherfuckers even try me, if I show up late or don't show up to something.
Exactly. But he over here doing
I'm
XYZ.
going straight to First Coast News and I'm telling them everything.
Yep.
I think we can agree that the racism part is you can discredit that as the NFL.
Yeah.
You can wiggle around that because even though he has the text messages, I mean, there would have to be some substantial evidence.
There would have to be some real shit.
Yeah,
There would have to be some real shit.
I mean, even in civil cases, I mean, I don't know if you can prove it. You can prove, however,
That's hard to prove.
Most NFL executives are completely incompetent.
So you
can absolutely prove that. Oh yeah. I mean, we all knew that like every exec was incompetent too.
Yeah, numbers.
Unfortunately, and to think we wouldn't have known about this unless Bill Belichick randomly didn't text the wrong guy.
Pull the boomer move.
Yeah, that as I said, that seems like a Belichick type of move. It's like, what's this technology? It just says Brian. Okay,
In
in
2022, you can't be that stupid, right? You can't,
don't worry. Belichick just spends all his time in a film room. He doesn't know how to use a cell phone.
Yeah.
But that right there, I mean, that is probably the strongest in terms of leveraging and saying, look, this proves that they're not even like, they're not taking me serious. But why wouldn't they take me serious if they're genuinely looking for a head coach? I find out that the other guy already has a job. I haven't even gone to my interview yet.
Somebody
they
else
don't know that I walked in there knowing that either. So they played it up.
That happened a couple years ago too. I can't remember the case where they had their guy picked out. Another team had their guy picked out, and they just did a pity interview with some. I forget. It was very similar.
Oh, it was Marvin fucking Lewis.
Marvin Lewis in Dallas, right?
Yeah,
Marvin Lewis in Dallas. We already
they had McCarthy picked out.
Mike McCarthy, and
That's
the NFL told him, no, you can't do that. The NFL said you can't do that because you haven't talked to a minority candidate.
Don't you think? Honestly, though, don't you think that's more respectful to not waste Marvin Lewis's fucking time having him put on his suit and fly out to Dallas for nothing?
Yeah,
that's more respectful than to bring in Brian Flores and treat him like, oh, here's our black guy. Let's serve him up.
Yeah.
And then,
that's why poorly written policy shouldn't,
But how do you fix it? How do you find an equitable system?
Dude, I don't fucking know.
And the problem is Rooney Rule was well-intentioned, but the problem is I feel like it's been twisted to the point where it's like, okay, we'll just bring in this one guy and just do the bare minimum. I think the problem is too, it's like most like executives, like the NFL, like most business is very who you know. So I feel like somebody that's an outsider, like say Brian Flores with the New York Giants, is going to have a harder time trying to prove himself than say Brian Dable when Joe Shane have like worked with him in Buffalo. So it's like, oh, whatever. I'm going to bring in my own guy. Yeah. We're doing our own thing.
Trust who you trust.
So it's unfortunately, that's the sad reality of life where it's like, unfortunately, like you're going to relate more to someone your own skin color.
It's not even relate. It's I know this guy. I trust him.
Yeah, you've had a relationship with him. You've had
or if you like say like that's why there are a lot of sons of coaches in the league. That's why there are a lot of sons of executives.
Nepotism,
daughters of executives. It is. It's very who you know.
Right.
That's the problem. So like any of us four, we probably couldn't get a shot. Even like two former NFL players and Justin and Uche, because they don't know anybody. I don't know if they're gonna get jobs. It's just the way life is, and it sucks.
Right, and you can't just mandate, hey, you have to have 10% black coaches. Like you can't do that.
You can't do that.
That'll dilute the product of the game eventually.
Yep.
Yeah, because
it'll just create an issue. Like
we need to hire somebody. Let's hire Pac-Man Jones or something.
You're right. You can coach
Pac-Man trying to fight the ref. It's a fucking 30-yard line. What's going on?
Hey, Joey Porter. Joey Porter, linebackers coach for the Steelers.
Yeah,
coach the L5s on the kickoff team.
Hey, Joey Porter was he was a linebacker coach, and I think he was the coach in Miami too.
Yeah, I think he was in Miami.
He was the coach in Miami too. I remember seeing him. Now look, on the one end, you got the race side, right? Now everybody knows that's an issue in and of itself. But the most dangerous side of this for the NFL, obviously, is throwing football games. Now, tanking is a thing. It's a romanticized concept. Like tanking is is when a team doesn't have talent, so maybe they don't put forth the 100% game planning effort that you might need to beat, a strong team you're playing against this week. Paying attention to records of teams about halfway through the season to see where your draft status is or where your draft ranking is going to be at. I mean, the Jaguars won one game a couple years ago, got first overall pick. They won 3 games this year, and they still got the first overall pick. So it's not about necessarily just not winning at all. But it is a concept that is very gray area, and you should never look like you're trying to lose kind of thing, ever.
Yeah.
You should never look like you're trying to lose. And you should never even say that you should never even talk about first overall picks when it comes to, speaking with the media. That's like the little secret within the secret. You don't talk about it. Even behind the closed doors, you don't really talk about it. You just be like, well, we got 3 games left, guys.
He's look kind of tough. I don't know.
Hey, listen.
We got to get some of these younger guys on film.
Let's not kid ourselves here. Everybody's being evaluated. Let's not kid ourselves.
Right. Let's start.
We're not going to win these.
He don't even know the fucking playbook, but let's start Blaine Gabbert. The whole tanking allegation is like you said, super serious. And like, what is it? Hugh Jackson said he was offered $100,000 to tank.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson as well.
They'll never do it, but relegation does fix that problem.
Yep.
Yeah, but the problem is that they won't because it would destroy the equity of the teams themselves.
It would fuck the team up.
Yeah. Like say the Cleveland Browns deserve to be relegated for a while. The Cincinnati
they're going to play in the
Bengals this year deserve to be relegated. Yep. We're promoting the Orlando Apollos.
Right. Who's going to be that team that?
You know what? We're Americans. We're Americans. Our healthcare is broken. We fucking just power through it. The NFL is not perfect, but we still love it. That's how we do things in America. It's like, all right, our system's fucked up, but damn if you talk shit about it.
Well, I think America's more like
tell us who gets better ratings, motherfucker.
Yeah.
None of y'all get better ratings.
Rich off of this shit.
Money pays, baby.
Still making money.
No, we don't care. As long as people getting paid, we don't care that it's unfair.
Me the money.
Yeah,
but that is the biggest problem. That's the biggest, most dangerous. That's dangerous for the NFL. One, because because look, the lawsuit hasn't been presented. The evidence hasn't all been presented yet. Once they do a discovery and they start presenting, because that's why I think the NFL's going to try and push settlement.
Yeah,
if they have real shit.
No way
if they got real shit to show.
Oh yeah,
and there's like actual like tangible evidence that that these owners were offering payments to lose. There's going to be multiple teams that will have to be sold.
Remember, Bountygate was as obvious like a case of ever, and they still really never had like actual.
Yeah, dude, that's different. It's different because there's precedence around every other league that once you cross that line, your team is done. You got to get rid of the team.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You can't have the team no more, and that's going to be. And the problem with that is that. There's a threefold problem with if this is proven to be true. One, you have a team in Vegas now.
I'm supposed to say Vegas is going to come calling, and not the Raiders.
Yeah, Vegas has no problem.
They have interest in who wins and loses these games.
Yes, they got billions up every year on these games, and they have an interest in knowing that an owner is throwing games,
and they have some less than savory characters that run
an NFL player will get caught up with a bookie at some point. It's gonna happen. Someone's gonna be caught fixing games. It happened in the NBA.
It happened in the NHL.
It happened in baseball.
Coaches, baseball. I mean, Pete Rose. There's always weakness, and the problem with gambling is it can be a mental illness. Like it can be something where it's a compulsion. And so someone's going to fuck up and be in a position to affect the outcome of a game.
Exactly. Now, this is another thing, right? So you have owners. Who knows if the owners aren't betting money on it? Who knows if they're not raking in millions extra on the side, black money, because they are already tanking their team?
I can easily bet against my team.
So that's how deep it goes. Now, you know what that does? On one hand, you have that. On the other hand, what happens if there's evidence that comes out and now Congress decides we're going to investigate? And not only are we going to investigate, we are going to consider antitrust law revocations on the NFL as a monopoly. That is where the NFL can be hurt very bad.
Yeah, but that's their hold card. That's been the hold card for Congress for years. It's just to keep them in check. You know, it's like, look, y'all can't go crazy.
That's what forces the NFL to actually do something.